I'm going to share with you 3 powerful strategies to help you finally overcome procrastination. The life that you want is just on the other side of what you've been avoiding. And if you keep putting things off and you know that you need to do them and you're not finding the willpower to finally do it, I'm going to give you 3 things right now that are going to help you. But first, why do we procrastinate to begin with? Well, a lot of times it's due to overwhelm or time or boredom. So if the task is daunting and it's too big, or it's perceived to take way too much time, or is something we're just unengaged with and it's too boring, then we're typically not going to pursue it. So number 1, you got to use the cognitive behavioral therapy of changing your thoughts, right? If you're familiar with CBT, your thoughts lead to feelings, and then your feelings lead to behaviors, and your behaviors then reinforce your thoughts. The 2 things that you do have control over are your thoughts and your behaviors, and those things can alter your feelings, and then your feelings will lead to that motivation. So how do you do that? So, well, you got to change your thoughts. So if you're procrastinating, you typically have some sort of negative type thought around the task you're doing. If you're overwhelmed, you're like, oh, I'm dreading it. This is too much. I don't want to do this. It's going to take forever. Those thoughts are not helpful. Stop it. Time out. What you need to do is reinforce positive thoughts like, you know what? I'm looking forward to do this. I'm going to learn something and I'm going to go crush this task, right? So you need to change your thoughts and or your behaviors. So that's number 2, change your behaviors. Studies show that large or like really vague tasks have a tendency to lead to overwhelm and avoidance, right? And so what you can do is default to action by taking the next smallest step that you can take within seconds. Just do it right away, default to action. And then all of a sudden you're 10 minutes into a task and you're building momentum. You're getting into what's called a flow state or whatever, and you're doing it and it's getting done. And there's more of it in the rearview mirror than it is ahead of you. And once things start getting in the rearview mirror, you feel that dopamine hit, that sense of accomplishment, and you're off to the races. And next thing you know, you're done with the task. Or if it's something bigger, it's going to help you feel productive and you'll feel rewarded just from making progress on whatever it is you've been procrastinating on. Okay. Hey, if you're getting some value out of this, hit that subscribe button, like and share, drop a comment, and let's get back to it. Number 3, there is power in finding your purpose for overcoming procrastination. So if you want to really get power over procrastination, you've got to know your why. You got to know why you're doing something in the first place. So let's talk about like how motivation works to begin with. Deci and Ryan have this theory called the self-determination theory, right? And it exists on 2 different spectrums. You have extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation is external motivation. Examples of that would be like a coach or a boss or a teacher who's applying some sort of extrinsic external pressure on you to complete a task and to get it done. Like a boss would say, hey, I need this done by Friday. Well, that is external extrinsic motivation, right? The problem with that type of motivation is it's dependent on them being present, right? Or whatever external pressure is there on being present. You don't take ownership of it and it wanes and it's very flimsy motivation. The other type of motivation is intrinsic. Intrinsic is when it's personal. It's when it's your mission. It's when it lines up with your values. There's a sense of purpose. You're interested in it. And it's so much stronger than extrinsic motivation. Okay. And it's more sustainable. So how do you take something that you're really not super engaged or interested in, that you have to do because you don't have a choice, and take that extrinsic motivation and turns it to intrinsic, to internalize it, to take ownership of it is the best way to say that. Well, you got to find out your purpose and your why you're doing it in the first place. So here's a trick to find out how to connect to that specific task, to find out if it aligns with your goals, your values, or your identity. Okay. So the first thing we have to do is we have to ask ourselves, why does this matter? Like, why am I doing this? What's the big picture reason of why I'm doing this? And you have to ask yourself, why is that important? At least 4 to 5 different times in order to really uncover your true purpose and your why. So I was having a conversation with somebody the other day who's currently doing flight training. They're in flight school, and ground school is very challenging, super hard. It's very overwhelming. The books are super thick and there's a lot of procrastination. They were saying, I'm struggling at getting going. I said, okay, great. Let me ask you a question. Why is it important for you to finish that ground school? Thought for a second. The answer was like, well, because that's how I can get my private pilot license and then get my instrument rating and get, all my ratings. I'm like, okay. Why do you want to get all your ratings? Well, I want to get my ratings so that way I can get my commercial and eventually be a commercial airline pilot. Okay, great. Why is it important to you to become a commercial airline pilot? Well, because I want to make more money, I want to provide for my family, and I want to enjoy seeing the world. Oh, interesting. Okay. Why is seeing the world, making more money, and providing for your family important to you? And then they went into a really deep list of things on why that was important to them. And that is what's going to be that internal driving purpose and passion and motivation to when they sit down to go do ground school and they don't want to do it. They start thinking of those things and it changes their frame of thinking and behaviors around that. Okay. Now, here's a pro tip. If a task continually fails the why test and you're asking yourself, why is this important? Why is this important? Why is this important? And you cannot uncover anything that really is a sign that there's any type of purpose or mission or something long-term that you're looking to get out of this, it may be a sign that you need to delegate it, renegotiate it, or drop it altogether. Now that you've figured out how to stop procrastinating, and click on the next video to take it to the next level.